This vacuum is missing the one feature almost every other Shark model brags about. No headlights, no fancy pod that pops off for stairs. Even the cord is shorter than what you'll find on most uprights in this price range. And yet, in performance evaluations, it posted a perfect score for pulling deeply embedded dirt out of carpet, and it beat the average tested upright on suction. So how does a vacuum that skips the flashy stuff end up outperforming ones that have it all? That's exactly what we're going to figure out today. Welcome to Sweep Gear. We dig through the research, the real-world testing, and the actual ownership experience so you don't have to guess whether a vacuum is worth your money. Today we're looking at the Shark ZU102 Rotator Pet Upright. If you own a pet, you already know the real enemy isn't dirt, it's hair. It's the golden retriever fur that wraps itself around the brush roll until you're standing there with scissors, cutting out a hairball the size of a mouse. It's the cat dander that gets kicked back into the air the second you turn the vacuum on, so cleaning day turns into a sneezing fit. And it's that lingering smell that never quite goes away, no matter how many times you empty the bin. These aren't small annoyances. They're the reason people put off vacuuming, which kind of defeats the whole point of owning one. So when Shark built this specific model around pet hair and odor, the obvious question is whether it actually solves those problems or just claims to. Let's start with the numbers, because they're more interesting than you'd expect from a vacuum in this price bracket. On sealed suction, this vacuum measured well above the typical upright, and on usable suction, the number that actually reflects real cleaning power, it beat the category average too. That's not marketing copy, that's a measured result, and it shows up in practical use. On carpet specifically, this thing dug embedded debris, sand, dust, deeply set hair out of the pile almost completely, earning a perfect score in deep clean evaluations. If your home leans carpet heavy, that's the number that should actually move the needle for you. Now here's something I want to open up and come back to in a minute. There's one specific surface where this vacuum quietly struggles. I'll tell you exactly what it is, but first, let's talk about the reason most people are watching this video in the first place: pet hair. The brush roll here uses what Shark calls powerfins hairpro, which is really just a mix of rubber fins and short bristles instead of the traditional all-bristle roller. In evaluations using both long and medium hair lengths, it picked up nearly all of it without significant wrapping. That matters because the standard complaint with most vacuums isn't that they can't pick hair up off the floor, it's that the hair then wraps around the roller and chokes the thing's performance over time. This design is built to push hair up into suction instead of letting it spin and knot around the roller. Owners of multi-pet households consistently report noticeably less time spent cutting tangled hair out compared to older style bristle brushes, which, if you've ever done that chore, you know is worth something. Back to that surface I mentioned. On hard floors, tile, laminate, vinyl, performance is genuinely good on fine and medium debris, dust, flour, that kind of thing gets pulled up clean. But with extra large debris, dry pet food, cereal, bigger chunks, it can push things forward instead of grabbing them in one pass. This isn't unique to this vacuum. It's a common limitation for uprights without a soft roller. But here's the part that surprised me. This model includes a detachable wand specifically for this scenario. Spill some kibble on the kitchen floor, pull the wand off, vacuum it directly, done. Most vacuums at this price just leave you sweeping first. So the limitation is real, but there's a legitimate workaround built in, which is more than a lot of competitors offer. Now let's talk about the other half of the pet owner problem. What's floating in the air after you're done cleaning? This model uses a fully sealed filtration system paired with a HEPA filter. And in leak evaluations, it passed completely, meaning air isn't sneaking out around the seams and blowing allergens back into your living room. For anyone with allergies or kids who seem to sneeze the moment the vacuum turns on, that's a genuinely meaningful difference, not just a spec sheet checkbox. Owners with allergy sensitivities have reported noticeably less irritation after switching to a sealed system like this one. There's also a built-in odor neutralizer, a small replaceable cartridge that releases a mild scent while you vacuum, aimed at cutting down that musty smell that builds up in pet-heavy homes. It's optional, you can pull it out if scents bother you, and most owners describe the effect as subtle rather than dramatic. Worth noting though, a portion of owners have questioned just how much of a difference it really makes. It's a nice extra, not a miracle fix, and I'd rather tell you that up front than oversell it. If you'd like to compare today's pricing while you finish watching, I've left the product link down in the description. Let's get into what it's actually like to push this thing around your house, because suction numbers only tell half the story. It weighs a bit below the average upright, and the swivel steering is genuinely responsive, getting around chair legs and coffee tables Feels easier than you'd expect for something this size. There's also a manual suction dial built into the handle, which sounds minor until you're vacuuming a delicate rug or sheer curtains and you don't want the machine trying to inhale them. Being able to dial that back in one motion rather than digging through settings is one of those small design choices that actually gets used in real life. Maintenance is where a lot of vacuums quietly become a burden, so let's address it directly. All 3 filters are washable and reusable, and you don't need tools to get to any of them. That keeps ongoing costs low compared to vacuums that require disposable filter replacements every few months. The dust cup holds close to 3 liters, which is on the larger side, so you're not stopping every 10 minutes to empty it during a full house clean. That said, some owners have mentioned it can be a little fiddly to empty without a bit of a mess, so don't expect it to be completely foolproof. Now, the honest part. This is a corded vacuum, so if you were hoping for cordless convenience, that's simply not what this model offers. And I'd rather tell you that plainly than let you find out after buying it. The cord itself runs shorter than the category average, which means larger homes may need to switch outlets more than once during a full cleaning session. There are no LED headlights, so cleaning under furniture or in a dim closet means relying on ambient light rather than a built-in beam. And there's no detachable pod, the kind you see on Shark's pricier lift-away models. So when you're doing stairs or above-floor cleaning with the hose, you're hauling the full body of the vacuum along with you, and it can feel a little tippy if you reach too far. None of these are deal breakers on their own, but together they tell you something honest about where this vacuum sits in Shark's lineup. It's not the top-tier model, and it's not trying to be. So how does it stack up against what people are actually cross-shopping? On one side, there are cheaper budget uprights that'll save you some money up front, but typically skip the sealed filtration system and come with a shorter warranty. If your priority is the lowest possible price and allergies aren't a concern, that trade-off might make sense for you. On the other side, Shark sells a pricier sibling model that adds the LED headlights and a detachable lift-away pod this one lacks. If stair cleaning or low-light visibility are deal breakers, that upgrade is worth pricing out before you commit here. But here's what keeps pulling me back to this specific model. It comes with a 5-year limited warranty, longer than most vacuums at this price, and its overall score in independent evaluations landed above the average tested upright, with carpet performance well above average. That's a hard combination to beat for the money. So who should actually buy this one? If you've got a carpet-heavy home, 1 or more pets shedding regularly, and someone in the house dealing with allergies, this vacuum is built almost exactly for your situation. If you're on a tight budget and hard floors are your main surface, you might be better served by a cheaper option. And if stair cleaning or LED lighting are must-haves for you, it's worth comparing this against Shark's own pricier lift-away lineup before you decide. Is it worth the price? Based on what the evidence actually shows and what real owners report after living with it, yes, for the right home. It's not flashy, it's not trying to impress you with lights and gadgets, but it consistently does the 2 things pet owners actually care about: pulling hair out of carpet and keeping allergens contained better than its price tag would suggest. If this helped you figure out whether this vacuum fits your home, go ahead and hit. It genuinely helps this channel keep making videos like this one. And if you're still in the middle of comparing vacuums, subscribe so you don't miss the next honest breakdown. I'd love to know, is pet hair or allergies the bigger issue in your house? Drop it in the comments. I rate everyone.